A friend of mine shared with me a very touching story that provoked me to make this video. With a pale face, he started. When I was a 6th grader, I had a math homework, and the teacher, as usual, asked the students who didn't do their homework to get out and stand by the wall to get punished, using that thick stick, which the teacher would use professionally but inhumanely and mercilessly to teach his students how to respect the rules and how to do their homework next time. The same horrible old school's methods that would treat students as a herd of sheep that mustn't step out of its barn. I would feel that I was in the jungle, not at school, since some teachers would use different kinds of fantasized punishments, pretending that they would help their students shape up. We were mischievous little kids, but full of innocence, and we used to feel afraid to death, as if we were imprisoned in a horrifying dungeon. No one could hear out our screams of pain but the walls. At first, the teachers started showering the high achievers who did their homework with a lot of indescribable compliments that would revive the dead, while we were sweating and shivering all over our bodies as if we were waiting for the angel of death to snatch our souls. When he finished, he turned around to pray his powerless victims to leave scars on their small palms and in their pure souls for the great treachery they had committed. I can't remember how my poor mates would cry and push each other backward to touch any sense of mercy in that teacher's heart. Yet, no one ever can stop a lion from enjoying his meal. Stepping backwards wouldn't lessen the pain that was sniffing at us. I couldn't wait anymore, so I kept my eyes closed until it was my turn. I did my best to stand unflinching. When he looked at me, he started jeering at my weak level and how upset he was because of the undone homework. When he got ready to hit me, he raised his snake-like stick that was wrapped with a black tape. All of a sudden, he changed his mind. With a grimace, he looked at me and said, "Your case is hopeless. Just sit down, since punishing you won't make any difference, but it will just hurt my hand." I wish he would set me on fire at the time, since what he said was more painful than all punishments and tortures combined. Although the incident took place over 25 years ago, but his non-educational razor words had always rung in my ears. I wondered, why did he used to treat us that brutally? Why didn't he try to embrace our mistakes and do his best to help us fix them like other teachers? What was that great triumph he would make by burning our hearts and souls with his meanest style? A lot of questions buzzed in my mind, yet I couldn't get any logical answers. What a story, dear friend. It's really poignant. I'm certain that a lot of you, if not all, have such an experience that haunts you from time to time. Indeed, most of us were not born or raised in noble or royal families. Mediocrity is the motto of our life, and unfortunately, we always receive a lot of verbal and physical abuse that make our self-esteem tear into pieces and our confidence shake terribly. We are raised with a lot of doubts that it's impossible to be someone eminent someday, as if success, fame, greatness, and happiness were created to special people, but not for us. Sometimes you feel that even your closest friends and family members, particularly parents, doubt the unique mark you can engrave in gold in your history. In fact, all of us were called different destructive names, got a lot of humiliation, and destructive criticism. We had always heard, "You are stupid, you are narrow-minded, you are just a heavy burden on our family, your case is hopeless, you are not born with the genetics of a triumph," and so forth. Dear, I understand and appreciate how bad it feels like when you are ignored, tortured, abused, and bullied. I do know that it's not easy to surmount such hard times, but the big question here is, does that benefit you? Does that help you get stronger? Does it abridge the distance between you and the great success you've got to make? Or it just paralyzes your intellectuals, dims your illumination, and lets fear, pain, doubt, and failure attack you day and night to settle down at last in every single room of your great castle. Dear, do you think that you will get out of this life unscathed or unhurt? You think that people will stop throwing their rocks at you? Do you think that bullies will ditch you just because you are peaceful? Dear, if you think that you won't get hurt, you won't lose precious and invaluable people, if you think that your life will be a plethora of gentle people, rosy paths, or dedicated friends who will be at your command 24/7 just to keep patting on your back, you can go to a near cemetery to enjoy the rest of your life there. Dear, you have to know that you are created with a lot of terrific inborn traits. One of them is adaptability. So you have the choice to get adapted to vulnerability, to play the role of the big loser until the end of your life, or get adapted to greatness, high self-esteem, self-appreciation, and resilience. So please try to be decisive and say to yourself, it's time not to cry over spilled milk anymore. Regardless of what others said to you, that's none of your business. Your number one priority is that you must know that even if you are not born with those genetics of a greatness, you can create your own. You must feel so proud of yourself to step on any negative experiences, or they will inevitably step on you. So keep sailing even with a straw. Keep fighting even with a blunt sword. Keep going even if all of your hopes got amputated. And keep your vision acute even if your eyes got gouged. Keep moving forward. Keep moving and be deaf to any destructive criticism and rise above any trashy people you may come across, but be all ears to all constructive criticism that helps you stand high and regain the zest for life. Dear, you should know that negative people will never become extinct. They will keep showing up in your life, but you and only you are the one who can set them on shelves full of dust or let them rain you until they destroy your core and your crust. Remember that the ball is always in your core.